before any rocket launches. Someone has already drafted the explanation. Before any family runs in the dark, someone has already chosen who the headline will pity first. In the early hours of dawn, reports showed artillery activity near a Thai provincial airport and a district hospital. By daylight, indirect fire had crossed the line. Locals never called a border, only home. Emergency convoys moved families from 4 border provinces into makeshift shelters. As smoke rose over Chang'an-ma, more than 35,000 people left their homes that week. Zoom out. Public summaries record: 18 Thai soldiers dead, more than 230 wounded, 17 civilians killed, 38 injured, around 149,000 displaced on both sides this year. These are not metaphors, these are numbers written in actual reports from mid-July to early November. 7 Thai soldiers lost a leg to landmines. Some of these incidents occurred even after the ceasefire took effect. PM2 devices, new, not remnants, were found. Experts noted they were recently deployed. This year, uniforms on both sides bled. This year, civilians on both sides ran. But the larger system that fuels this tension has not lost a limb. It is not lost a night of sleep. They call it a border issue, we call it a line where ordinary people from both flags pay for decisions they never made. Explosions don't read passports, landmines don't check ideology, and every time someone loses a future, the world should ask, who gains when innocent people lose? This is the war we never started, but the one we wake up inside. We're not asking you to choose a side, we're asking you to recognize a pattern. When violence returns to places already scarred, instability is rarely accidental. If headlines arrive before investigations, we'll answer with something no one can distort our scars. Shift the frame east, away from the smoke and sirens, into the compounds and special zones where lights never go off. Reports speak of cyber fraud hubs across the Mekong, where workers from Thailand, Vietnam, China, Myanmar, the Philippines lies, where traffic beating forced to scam strangers worldwide. UNODC called it a major trafficking and cyber fraud hub. Interpol traced billions from victims into casinos, crypto wallets, and shell companies. The US, the UK, and others announced freezes on illicit assets, hundreds of millions in value, records stored on public servers. Victims in Seoul, Berlin, Bangkok, Manila, the stories match and escapes told investigators the same thing. Local power structures looked away. Follow the money, father, and you reach global arms catalogs where weapons are priced like consumer goods. It's no secret countries that condemn illicit finance today also supplied weapons to this region for decades. Not illegally, not secretly, but through systems that rarely ask where those weapons will echo years later. So when roofs shatter in the present, history asks a quiet question: how far does responsibility travel? No one claims every shot follows a balance sheet, but analysts note a pattern. Regions stressed by illicit economies often see tension where accountability tightens. It's not a verdict, just a question. History keeps repeating. This is the war we never started, but the one our children memorize. And on the ground it looks like a soldier learning to walk on one leg, a child practicing drills instead of songs, a family leaving home unsure it will still exist next week. Border war or pressure leaking from a system built on looking away. You can sanitize a press release, but you can't sanitize 7 prosthetics in one ward. You can argue intent in conference rooms, but you can't argue with prosthetic wards and refugee lines. You can say misunderstanding in perfect English, but the shelters know exactly who keeps paying. If your children hid under desks at 3 a.m., if your towns heard rockets before sun rocks, if your soldiers lost legs after a ceasefire, would you still tell us to avoid escalation? Or would you finally admit that something far above those trenches has been allowed to continue too long? This is the war we never started, but we refuse to vanish inside someone else's script. If disinformation frames the picture, we'll reframe it with the one truth you cannot erase: the human cost. We won't